Bountiful blessings to all of you on today. I do want to thank you for taking the time to check out my YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe. It costs nothing to you but to use your finger and hit the button. Just real quick, guys, I just wanted to encourage you for we going into new seasons. We already know fall will be approaching soon. The Hebraic year 5778 is going to be coming right around the corner. We have a few weeks for that. We already know we just got out of a lot of storms, hurricane season, and we're going into another season. So with seasons, there are levels and there are devils. So just encouragement on how in this season that we're approaching, we are going to remain content, courageous, and considerate. If you have a pen, paper, jot those things down. We're going to be looking at from the life of someone very familiar, David. A lot of you might remember David when he was a young boy going through things and having to knock down Goliath. Where even as David grew up, he still went through a lot of things. But we're going to take some lessons from David, from Samuel. If you guys remember, whenever the Philistines, they went into battle, and I'm probably gonna say his name wrong, but Ashik, Aschich, whoever, y'all know who he is. And I remember, I was looking, and I remember they were going to battle to get everything back, and the Philistine decided to ask the Ashik, what about these Hebrews? If you take a look, and I want to say 1 Samuel 29 or something, you might want to read through that in 30, and it'll break down all those things. And as they were going to battle, the Philistine asked him, what about these Hebrews? Talking about David. Be careful. People will always ask about you. You might be minding your own business. David was somewhere over there fighting. They was preparing to go in. He wasn't even paying no attention to the Philistine commander. And yet they was over there watching him. And he decided to say, what about them? And so the Achiac was like, since David left Paul, he's been with me for a year. Up until this point, I have found no fault in him. That's what he told the Philistine. And what did the Philistine come back and say? He was angry. He said, well, we don't want him to fight for us. Sometimes you have to be content. David didn't understand it. He was content. He was like, well, why? What's wrong? I want to come out and fight with you guys. And the Achiac was like, I understand that, but it's the Philistine commanders. They don't want you with us. They don't want you to fight with us. So sometimes, even if you're supposed to be fighting on the same team, everyone would not want you to battle with them. So you must learn how to be content in all things. Did David get upset? The next morning, he got his things up, got his crew up, turned around, went back. If you notice, when he went back, what happened? They found that it was raided. They took everything. They took his wives, children. Nobody was hurt, but they took all of them. And so David and his crew, they wept. The Bible said wept till they couldn't weep no more when he got back. So let's go back. Keep in mind, we have to be content, knowing that in your team, on your team, this new season that you're going through, there are going to be different memos that you might not get from work. You might find yourself at school dealing with classes, trying to graduate, and you just have to be content with where you are, because there will be people who's going to ask about you. What about her? What about him? Why are they over here? How is it that they got to get into that situation? How is it they got the grant to be able to pay for that? How is it? Be content. The second thing, be courageous in all that you do. Even through all that, David got back, was like, okay. First of all, in being with content, he seeked the Lord. He went to the Lord. He didn't ask this one. He didn't turn to that one. He didn't call his aunts and his uncles. He didn't call his grandmother and say, look here, what should I do? Come on, how should I handle this? They didn't took my wives, my children. They took all our things, our herds, our cattle. He turned and asked the Lord, should I battle this? In your content situations, before you start asking everybody else, ask God. And surely God said to David, yes. Go ahead and you will have victory in this. And then again, being courageous, bringing us to being courageous. In that point, David, after all his men, they wept till they couldn't weep no more. He got back up, went back to battle. If you read it, he got everything back. The word said they got back everything. Not one thing was missing. Not one thing was untouched. They got everything back. So in battles, you must still be courageous. When you finish crying at night on your pillow, you don't understand what God doing, why this is going on. Oh my God, I can't believe these light bills. These bills are constantly coming. I just lost my job, unemployment not paying. Be courageous. Be courageous. God gave him back everything that was taken from him. And lastly, we have to be considerate. We have to be considerate in this season, because you're going to run into different people that might not look like you, might not worship like you, might not go to the same place as you, but you still have to be considerate of them. If you notice, whenever they were going back in Samuel, traveling to go, even before they went into battle, they ran into one of the Egyptian, it says, and he was sick. He hadn't eaten for 3 days. Now he was with the other people, the other side, but still they found him, and David was like, well, what's going on? And he explained to them, they left me here to die. So David said, well, if you show us where to go, we'll go ahead and take care of you. And he did. Be considerate to those people who it seems like an unfamiliar place, or people who's coming to help you. Yes, you should have discerning spirit, always pray, and you just want to let anybody in your circle. But be considerate of all those, even if they're not on your team, even if they're not the same race, even if they don't eat the same food as you. Be considerate. David was considerate, not with just helping him out. He was considerate when they got everything back. He started giving out plunders to different people, it says. He was giving it away. Sometimes when God bless you, don't hold on to it. Be considerate. Be considerate. He bless you so that you can bless someone else. So again, in 1 Samuel 29, around that chapter sometimes, it shows us again from David, who he grew up. He was a young boy. He had to fight Goliath. And even in his adult age, you're probably up against some Goliaths. You don't understand the turning point on what's going on. There's been a shift and there's a transitioning. You have to move into another place, and you just don't understand it. Be content in all things, no matter what it's looking like, no matter what it seems like, no matter who's asking about you, concerned about you, worrying who you are, where you come from, how you gonna get this done. Be content. Let other people speak for you. Asiac told the Philistine, he's been with me all year, and ever since he left Saul, I found no fault in him. Let other people speak for you. When other people trying to find somebody to say something so they can be like, oh yeah. There's gonna be that person, those people who's gonna say, I found no fault in her. She has done nothing but serve me. He has done nothing but serve me. Be content. Be courageous. Be courageous. The Bible says the enemy seeketh who he may devour. He's like a lion trying to find what he can take, what he can rob you of. Be courageous. Get the power and authority God give you. After you pray about it, ask God, should I go out? Should I go get it? Once you get that word from God and say go, because victory is yours, be courageous. Go back and get everything that the enemy has tried to take from you. And once you get it back, make sure that you are considerate. Be considerate. Make sure you give to others. Pour out. Be considerate. You're going to run across those along the way. The Egyptian, he was out there. He hadn't eaten. He was sick. And David still took care of him, even though he wasn't a part of his team. He still took care of him. Be considerate in this season that we're going into. Things, even the Bible says it, where we are. You can look at Revelation. We're in battles. Things may not get easy until they have gotten worse. But just remember, as we go up Rosh Hashanah, we're finna go up in a Hebraic year. Keep aware to be content, courageous, and considerate in all that you do. God bless you. Read the full story again in 1 Samuel 29, and in the life of how David took what was up against him, even in that situation, and he still came out victorious. I love you guys. Have a blessed day.